have here HR21 from 2011, and this machine has been reported with a drive fault. It doesn't drive, or it's slow drive, I'm not sure. So I will try to see what's the fault is here, and we'll try to see if we can fix it. So at the moment on the gauge it shows batteries are fully charged, and I will try to drive on electric now, power in. Let's go in a tortoise speed, and just to see what's actually happening. Okay, I can hear the motor is spinning. Okay, if I'm trying to drive, you can see how slow the drive is. Very slow. Okay, so drive is very slow, but when I'm going into drive, I have this rabbit symbol coming up on the display, and that means the machine is stowed and is set for the high-speed drive, but it feels like it's in an elevated drive. Let's try on a hair mode. The electric motor is revving up high. Okay, same, very slow drive. Okay, off-road mode. Okay, same, it's very slow. Okay, let's try with the engine. Start the engine. So in hair mode, the engine is driving high, it's good. Oh, that's even slower. Okay, so it's very slow, just gripping. So I think the problem may going to be with the current to proportional valve, and the valve is not opening enough to have a correct drive speed. So what I will try to do now, I will try to see what sort of current we get into the valve. We try to measure it, and I will do that on a proportional board. Because the drive, it seems to be working, drive controls like directional drive is working fine, so it's going to right direction. The engine revs and motor speed is increasing, so that means we are set for the fast speed drive, but we don't have enough hydraulic flow. So what I done here, I just removed SOL plus cable from this plug, and I put my meter in series so I can measure the current. So this is measuring the current on that SOL plus wire. And what I will do, I will drive forward now in the tortoise speed, starting slowly. So the current about 260 milliamps, and it's driving fine. And this is full speed forward in the tortoise mode, so 550 milliamps. That is looking good. And the drive speed should be okay. And reverse, same. So we got 450, 480 milliamps in the reverse, and drive speed feels okay. So I'm gonna go into hair mode, and if I go fast speed drive forward, that's a full reverse. Reverse is going slow now. Right, so now we got this into faulty condition actually, which is very good. Let me try in tortoise. So forward good. Okay, reverse. Oh, I'm struggling on reverse. So on reverse, just joystick is on a maximum displacement in reverse drive, but the current only 240 milliamps. And before I had about 580 milliamps. So we know the slow drive coming from the low current. So it's not a hydraulic issue. And if I go in a hair mode, same, 225 milliamps. And off-road, forward is alright. And reverse, slow, 225. What I will try now, I will try to measure analog signal from the joystick, because the proportional board is receiving analog signal. It doesn't matter what direction you're going, forward or reverse, it should be same. So I've got the lid open, and on this plug I have analog wire. This is smaller wire, and a zero wire, a 0 volt. So for my negative reference, and positive is on the analog output. That's an analog output, and I'm measuring the voltage on it. So I'm driving now. I will drive in a fast speed mode in tortoise, in a hare, and I am off the boom switch at the moment. So I am in elevated drive. So what I'm trying to see, I'm just reading the analog output from the joystick. So it's coming from the joystick into the board, and from the board into this wire, and then it goes all the way to the base. So I will drive an elevated drive just because I want to be able to measure the voltage and move some wires around maybe while I'm driving, just to see if I can trigger the fault. At the moment I have 4 volts, which is good, and a forward. I have nearly 4 volts as well, so that's good. And if I drive with the booms down, I have full speed drive, no problems. So what I will do now, I will try to move all these wires while I'm driving, and just to see if that's gonna have any effect on my analog output, just to get this machine to fail again as before, so we can actually measure what's wrong with it. Okay, so once I open the console lid, I'm not able to get the machine to fail now, and I think this happened because I moved the wiring around, and the only way I can simulate the same drive speed and the same behavior if I remove this wire here, is labeled PT, or this wire here labeled PB. Okay, and these 2 wires is feed coming from this board and goes into the joystick, and the power supply is required there to get analog output on it. Okay, so I will try to drive now and to show you what's happening. With the PT disconnected, if I'm driving back on the analog output, I'm getting only 1.7 volts, and my joystick at a full displacement. Okay, and if I go to drive forward, it's okay. So the voltage is good. So what I do next, I will connect the PT in, and I will disconnect the PB right there. So direction will change. The drive reverse is going to be fine, but drive forward is going to be slow as we did have before. Okay, so now I disconnect this PB wire, and PT is connected back in. Alright, and I will drive reverse. So the reverse is driving fine now, and the voltage is good. And if I drive forward, you see the voltage here is low, so the current is gonna be limited to 250 or 220 milliamps as we did have before. And the machine is driving very, very, very slowly. So this is exactly the same what I had before. So I think the problem is here with the connections in the cage. I don't think it's a problem with the board itself because we're getting output. Okay, so what I have done, I checked all of those connections and I refit them back on. This is analog output, all the joystick connections, and I think the problem is a bad connection on the PT or PB wire, and that's why it's affecting the drive in the one direction or two directions. So what I will do, I will assemble all back together and I will test the machine, and I think the drive will gonna work fine. There's gonna be no problems anymore. Okay, so the drive is working fine now. Just only thing I wanted to show you here is the voltage here, what we should have on this PT and this PB wire. This is PB and this one here is PT. Okay, so the voltage here should have around 4 volts, between 4 and 5 volts, and I would say that's fine. And what I will do now, I'm just gonna hold my meter in place and I will push a trigger. I'm not gonna drive, just pushing the trigger, and I have 4.3 volts. And on a PT I would have the same 4.29, so 4.3 volts. I would expect between the 4 and 5 to be here on those two wires, and that should be fine. Just remove the analog output wire, so the machine is not gonna drive when I'm moving the joystick. And I will measure the voltage on the wire called PW. Okay, and the PW is connected right here. So what I will do, I think I will try to put my meter in here if I can. Okay, so I push the trigger, so I have around 2 volts, and if I go to drive forward, I move the joystick and the voltage goes up to 3.5, 3.6 volts, and the reverse is gonna be same. It should be same or very close. Okay, so if I drive reverse, okay, so 3.5. Okay, so PW is a proportional output from the joystick, and that proportional output from the joystick, it does need PT and PB feed in it. Alright, the machine is good, working fine, driving fine, no problems at all.